What's up, guys? Today is the day that that thing comes into the shop. Hopefully you guys are excited as I am. I've been waiting to get my hands dirty on this thing again for quite some time, and today we get to do so. As you can tell, it's been sitting here for quite some time. It's gross. There's pockets of water and leaves. I'm not looking forward to actually getting this out of here. I'm hoping that my golf cart's going to be strong enough to pull it out of here, and we'll get it cleaned up and go through what we've done and what we're getting ready to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and start to try to get this cover off of it. Oh man, I wish you guys can smell this. In case you're wondering, Amazon has a waterproof car cover. It's like 60, 70 bucks. It is waterproof, as you can tell. Great cover. It's been on this thing for about 2 years. That's gross. Oh, it smells. That water smells real bad, but there you have it. Now you can see a little bit of some nice bright green. It's actually called Shocker Yellow. But we're gonna go ahead and get the golf cart hooked up to this thing and hopefully be able to pull this thing out. We're gonna hook up the pressure washer, get everything pressure washed off, all the leaves, gross, and dirt, and spider webs, because I don't like spiders. And we'll get it in the garage and we'll go from there. Alright, now let's see if I can get this thing to move with the golf cart without doing a burnout on my driveway. Well, I wish I filmed that part, because as you can tell, I almost rear-ended myself. get this stuff away. We'll pull out the pressure washer. We'll give this thing a rinse down, and I'll show you guys actually around it a little bit. All right, well, it is hot down here in Florida. I am dying, but we finally got the OBS cleaned enough, washed off, rinsed, got it back into the shop, and I guess I'll give you a little rundown of what's going on with it, what we've done with it so far, what the plans are, and what we're gonna do to finish up today's video on this truck. It's the last little thing that I wanna do before we really start tackling the atrocity that is this 25-year-old paint job on this truck. So, as you can see, there's a whole lot of green, shiny goodness. Let's get you in a better spot here so you can see everything. All right, so this truck has full QA1 stage 3, I believe it is, front and rear setup on this truck. This is a kind of a 3-link style suspension with a Panhard bar on it, coilovers front and rear, all tubular control arms up in the front. This does have a built rear end. It's got an Eaton Walker in it. It's got 373 gears in it. I believe, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure we put 373s in this truck. The frame, this truck started out as, hey, can you just put a little, Amazon special lowering kit on my truck? I had one of these as well at the time with drop spindles and a flip kit. That was the original plan for this truck. It has since snowballed. Once we got everything kind of tore apart, I pulled the bed off of, figured it was going to be easier to make the C-notches, and I kind of shot myself in the foot. I said, hey, you should check out this suspension kit. And he asked what the pros and cons were. I told him, and he said, all right, let's do it. Lo and behold, I didn't realize how much more work that was going to make for me. So, what we decided to do at that point was to strip kind of everything down in the rear, which I had to. I had to drill out about 76 rivets. That was fun. Burnt up 2 or 3 drill bits and a drill. But we got all the rivets knocked out, all the factory brackets off, had to drill, I don't know, like 108 holes. That was also very fun to do, as you can imagine. We didn't want to just stick with black suspension. This truck has quickly evolved from just being something that he can tool around and cruise to something that can really probably win a car show. I'm no expert car builder. I'm not the best at what I do. I make things work, make it pretty enough, we'll say, that people can look at it, people can admire it. It looks fantastic, but it's not something too nice you're too afraid to drive. A lot of times I've had friends of mine that have built stuff that then turns out way too nice, and they're afraid to drive it. They're afraid to get door dings, they're afraid to get scratched, they're afraid of, having some sort of mechanical failure that's going to hurt the engine or the driveline or suspension, something of the sort. So I kind of pride myself in finding a good middle ground, something that's nice enough to show off to people and be proud of it. It works really, really well. Mechanically is solid, but you're not too afraid to go thrash on it. The plan for this truck is at least 450 horsepower, maybe more. That's why we built the rear end. It's going to handle some abuse. It's going to have zero problem doing some big old fat burnouts with these tires on it. That's the goal. We want to have fun in it. We want to enjoy it, but we also want it to be pretty. So we had everything powder coated. We were going to just do typical Pour 15 on the chassis. Keep it black, clean, it's nice. The question then got arose from the owner of, well, what am I going to do with the cab, underneath the cab? Because, it sits pretty much on the frame. I said, well, I can just lift it up and, use the roller with the Pour 15 and coat everything. And so once I had everything stripped, I had the front end stripped off the truck so I can get to everything on the front as well. Made it way easier. we decided to pull the old motor and trans out of this truck. He had once talked about doing an LS swap, wasn't on the table at that time, and made the comment of, well, you're so close, you know, you're only a couple bolts. It's always only a couple bolts away. So I said, okay, pulled motor and trans out, cleared up a lot more room for myself, made it way easier for me to do what I needed to do. Well, at that point, I'm only a couple harnesses away and some bolts from pulling the cab off the frame. So, I don't have a lot of friends. I don't have a lift or a chain fall. So, I hooked up some ratchet straps to my wooden rafters, prayed that they weren't going to break, and I lifted the cab off the frame, rolled it out from underneath of it. Sketchy at best. Put it on some dollies, moved it to the side. That allowed us a way more room, and we had a bare frame. Then it went sideways. So it's kind of hard to see, but this frame is not just black. This frame, as you can see, is very shiny. It's very sparkly. We decided to completely strip and sandblast the entire frame. That was fun. Now, for those of you that kind of want to know, one of those little Harbor Freight Speed Blaster sandblast guns work great if you don't have a massive compressor. I have a 60-gallon compressor, which I always thought was pretty decent size. Apparently it's not. I borrowed an actual pot-style sandblaster from a friend of mine. My compressor could not keep up. So I did a little handheld cheat code. You can get cold media from Roll King. Pretty decent priced, works really well. So I spent about 40-50 hours sandblasting this frame. Getting grease off, grime off, rust off. Had a couple spots I had to wire wheel because sandblasting still wasn't getting through it. Then hit it with sandblaster again. Fully osfoed the entire frame, stop it from rusting, flash rusting, getting rid of any of that, encapsulating all of it. Then it has Specialist Paints 2K DTM primer. This is also Specialist Paints black base coat, and then black sparkle metallic, I believe it is. I can double check on the name, but I'm pretty sure it's black sparkle metallic. This is the same color that the truck itself is going. We will have more green accents as we go, but this is the theme. Black sparkle, shiny green, alien green. It's actually called Shocker Yellow, but it's green. So we did the frame, painted it all, went ahead and got everything assembled. I sent the rear end to a good friend of mine. He rebuilt it. I don't like doing gears and backlash and all of that. I'd rather leave that to a professional. That locks up going 60, 70, 80 miles an hour down the road. Someone could die, not taking that risk. So my buddy Derek went ahead and rebuilt this entire rear end, all new bearings, new seals, new gear set, 373s, Eaton locker. It could have a Yukon locker, one of the two, but it's got a locker in it, posi. Rebuilt that. Got all of this back together, went ahead and has the AZ Pro brake upgrade. It just has 14-inch Corvette front calipers and rotors, and it has 13-inch Mustang rear calipers and rotors, drilled and slotted front and rear. So this thing's going to stop on a dime. It's going to be real good. So installed the brakes front and rear, suspensions front and rear. This had a brand new gas tank in it when he parked it last, so although it was new, it's still probably 10 to 15 years old, if not older. Looks pretty good. We're going to see shortly if there's any rust inside of it. I don't think there is. We're going to do some fuel upgrades before we start on the bodywork side of this. So last two things really to do on chassis wise was brake lines and wiring harness. So I found a company called Finishing Lines, and they have a fantastic product. Obviously none of my stuff is sponsored. None of this stuff is sponsored. Roger has paid full price for all of this stuff. We did get a couple discounts going through some of our friends, but they make really awesome brake lines. They'll make custom brake lines to whatever length you want, whatever fittings you want, and whatever color that you want. I was able to actually send them pictures of this powder coat, the name of it, etc., and they made brake lines for us. Now, you can see some of them, but we're gonna kind of dive on in here and get you hopefully a little bit closer look of these brake lines. So you can see here on these fittings how nice all of these fittings they made. You could pick the color of your fittings, of your collars, and of your lines. Now, all of these brake lines are stainless steel braided lines, front to back, no hard lines. They even come with these nice T's. You can tell them what fittings you want. You want 45s, you want 90s, 180s, whatever you need, they'll build it, and in whatever color that you want. Super awesome company to work with, super awesome product. Fit together. I gave the measurements of how long I needed the lines, drew a little layout of what I needed. They did from the caliper to the inside of the frame with a brake here. So, you know, it's just like a factory line where you have just your caliper line. In case something happens, we can replace just that. And then went ahead and made everything connect from here to the rest of the truck. Now, I had told them what brake master cylinder that we would be using, because we will not be using the factory booster on this truck or brake master. And they went ahead, they knew the size that it needed, the fittings for it, and they actually gave us the proportioning valve that we would need with nice hard stainless lines that actually come off of the master, everything ready to go. So when we buy the master for this truck, it's gonna bolt in and we're gonna have all the brake lines to just bolt it together and go. Might have to make a couple brackets here or there to tidy it up, make it look the way that we want, but everything's going to work absolutely like it was meant to be because it was built and worked to work together. Oh, are you getting new batteries? The wife's mowing the lawn today because I'm working on this. Good trade-off, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we got brake lines done all the way up to the front. Everything is loosely routed. That leads me to where we are today. I want to make the fuel lines from the tank just up to the frame to up the front. We're not going to finish the fuel lines until we have an engine in here. We know where we're going to mount the regulator and all of that stuff, but I want to be able to mount everything to the frame, tidy it up, tuck it up so all that's done. So when we're done with the paint and body work on the bed, we can just bolt it on and we're done. So we picked up a Holley Sniper EFI drop-in sending unit. It's got really nice AN fittings. Comes with all of -6 ORB fittings to -6 AN fittings. We got a plethora of Dishworks fittings to go with it. Wasn't sure what we were going to need, so kind of ordered a bunch of stuff. So we have some options of how we want the lines to run. And we have, you know, fuel pump relay kit that we're going to wire up. We're going to probably end up making our own chassis harness for this truck. That wasn't originally part of the plan, but now as we're getting this far in depth with it and making it as nice as it is, really don't want to reuse this 1989 wiring. We can clean up a lot of different stuff, get rid of a lot of stuff that we're not going to be using, and just make it overall look really nice and clean. So I did a little bit of pre-assembly on the sending unit as far as just assembling the fittings into it, putting the filter onto the fuel pump. It does come with a 320 fuel pump on it, which should be plenty. This truck's pretty much going to be an NA LS. We have a 4.8 sitting in the corner. We thought about doing a high revving 4.8. I have a buddy of mine that's actually getting ready to price us out building a 6 liter. We might just put a built NA 6 liter in this truck. Like I said, we're hoping for like 450, maybe 500, depending. Eventually this truck's probably going to get a Whipple on or some sort of blower at some point. We really want to get the truck done, get the truck driving to where he can enjoy the truck and see if he really needs more power or wants more power, or if he really enjoys it how I think the truck should be. So today we're going to finish up with putting the sending unit in, mocking up our lines. I've never made AN lines, so this is a treat for you guys and for me. We're going to figure this out together. So I did buy a couple things to hopefully make my life a little bit easier and nicer. We'll see if it works or not. All right, so back over here at my little workshop table, got a couple things laid out. Like I said, we bought a little bit of fittings. Wasn't sure if we needed 90s, 45s, slight 45, straights, etc. So these are not going to go to waste. If we don't use them here, we're going to use them in the front of the truck. So we have a bunch of fittings. This is our super nice Holley Sniper sending unit. Comes with all your wiring here for fuel level sensor, powers, grounds, all of that stuff. Comes already pre-assembled with the 320 pump on it. Really nice. All I had to do is put the sock on it. And these fittings all come with this kit. Okay, come with the O-rings, all of this. You know, this is for your vent, and what it actually comes with, which is really nice. I'm not sure if we're going to use it yet or not, but it does come with an adapter fitting that goes on here with a bar, so you can reuse the factory vent at the filler. I'm not sure if we're going to use that or if I'm going to actually make an AN line of this and run it up to the front. We'll see about that. So we're going to install this in today. We got D-Schwartz -6 AN line. Really nice line. I really like stuff from DW. It's really good stuff. Do yourself a favor. You're going to start building AN lines. Get yourself some AN wrenches. This has already come in handy to install those fittings and not scratch everything. Granted, it's a sending unit. It's going to be under the truck, under the bed. You're never going to see it. However, I like taking pictures, and you're going to see it on video. So when we put it in this truck, I want it to look really good. There's no need to scratch things up. If we could spend a little bit of money, get some nice stuff. We're going to use this again in the front when we start doing all of our fittings to our regulators, to the fuel lines, all that stuff in the front. We don't want to scratch everything up. We want this truck to look really clean, and a lot of this truck's going black, dark gunmetal. There's going to be some carbon fiber we're throwing in there in the front, so we want to keep things really nice. Then I reached out to this company called JB Tuned. They make these really nice 3D printed holders. Now they hold fuel lines, brake lines, whatever you need them to hold. There's options. You tell them essentially what you want, what you need for sizes, and they make it. So on these, we do have 2 slots for brake lines, which we really only need 1, but it did give us an extra slot for wiring harness potentially. The wiring harness that comes to the back of the truck isn't very big. It's pretty much just for the taillights and then the fuel pump. So we have 2 slots for that. So 1 for brake lines, 1 for the wiring harness, and then we have -6 return and feed. So these should be really nice. We're going to figure out where to mount these, how we want to mount these. There is an offset and then 2 flat ones. We've got plenty of these to go. Really nice product. Took a little while to get them. Totally worth the money. So that being said, this is what we're working with today. I have boxes on boxes of other parts that we're going to unbox. I've already seen them. You haven't seen them, so I can unbox them for you once we start moving towards the front of the truck. Now that's going to be way down the road. Our next videos on this are going to be paint and body work. Probably going to be spread out. I'll have some smaller videos in the meantime because I'm going to try to time lapse a lot of the paint and body work stuff on this truck. So today, let's go ahead and get the sending unit in and start our fuel line so we can get that project wrapped up. All right, so taking this stuff out, it's just like any other sending unit, you got a lock ring in there. So let's go ahead and knock out our lock ring here. Sending unit is loose. Now, I did already loosen up this clamp here for the filler neck. Whew. Stuff on there. All right. Now, well, I ain't gonna lie to you guys. This looks way worse, come on, than I was expecting. Look at how gross this is. Ugh. That's just nasty. Well, like I said, this was a new tank about 15 years ago. So, this is the stuff we have to deal with now. It ain't good. It really ain't good. All right, let me take you out to stand here, show you what we're working with here. Here's your inlet. That's not fantastic. Here's the inside of the tank. Oh, well, you know what? Let's get a light. Look at how good that is. That is something special. So, that being said, this might change our course of action today. I guess I probably should have checked that beforehand, but like I said, this thing's been sitting for quite some time. We finally got it back out. And well, let me get you guys in the right here. These are the things we're going to have to deal with. So I'm going to reach out to the owner now and let him know that I'm going to order a new fuel tank, because that's gross. We're not going to deal with that. That's just going to create problems. Now, there is ways you could put stuff in there and nuts and bolts and shake the tank around and all of that. And to be honest, this is not worth it. This is not cost effective for him as the owner of this truck, me building it. That's going to take me way too much time and cost him more money than it's going to be to just buy a new tank. So we're going to order up a new tank for this thing. When that tank comes in, we will continue on this video, create these fuel lines. I don't even want to set this sending unit in here for mock-up, because I just don't want any of this stuff to already get onto any of this nice, clean, new stuff. So I think we're going to wrap it up for there. That's going to be today's video. I guess I can do a little walk around and show you the front here. This does have a redhead steering box in it. All new front steering components and everything. Big front sway bar, coilovers, nice ball joints, big brakes, 20-inch weld wheels. This truck's going to be really, really, really nice. Now, it was a complete truck. That door's locked. I can't get in there. So, it was a complete truck. We have all the interior to still pull out of this truck. That'll probably be the next video that we're going to work on. We'll see how long it takes to get the tank. We might just do that really quick. And then we're going to work on getting all the interior ripped out of this, because I have the glass guy coming this week to not only pull all of the glass out of this truck, but to install glass in my new truck. There'll be a video on that sometime soon. Once we get a window in it and I can pull a video, we'll do the same thing. We'll pull it out, we'll wash it, we'll go through it, we'll make it look pretty-ish so it can sit there, because I got a lot of stuff to fix on that truck before I can drive it, and this is taking priority. So we're going to end it here. Unfortunately, that was not what I wanted to see. It happens. This truck's in 1989. It's 1 year younger than I am, and I'm old, as you can tell. So I'm going to go clean up some of this, let him know kind of the bad news. He probably won't take it as bad news, because secretly he loves buying parts for this truck. And we're going to order up a new gas tank for this. We'll change it out. Once the gas tank's in, we'll build the fuel lines. We'll run all that stuff. I'll show you guys how I'm going to do that. And we'll go from there. We'll continue on with this progress. I'm super, super happy to have this truck back in the shop. I love working on this thing. One, because it's super cool. I mean, look at the color of this stuff. It's wild. I love bright stuff. I love sparkly stuff. I love shiny stuff. I love stuff that's in your face that most people don't like. Love it. I am so stoked on this truck. I cannot wait to continue with it. I pretty much get to build my own dream truck with someone else's wallet, essentially. We have very similar taste in things. He trusts my ideas. There really isn't very much of this truck, of his ideas, that I don't like or care for, so it makes building it super, super fun. I'm excited. I'm excited to spend some more of his money on cool parts. I just bought a whole bunch of stuff from Grant Fab that we'll be getting for the bed. Some trick stuff to really, this truck will not just be your typical stock OBS lowered on wheels like 90% of them are. We are definitely doing something a little bit different with this truck, a little more flair to it, kind of an in-between pro touring style, street truck, mid-90s build kind of deal. A little bit of things from everything. He is very much he likes his stuff and he doesn't care if anyone else likes it or not. So this will have billet accessories. This will have a bunch of carbon fiber stuff interior. It's getting full custom done interior in it. We'll be making some carbon fiber stuff, some flat panels. I don't actually know how to make carbon, so it'll be some panel sheets that we're going to cut and make some brackets and some filler panels, nothing crazy. But some carbon, more powder coat stuff as we start building the engine. And we'll go from there. So I'll keep you guys updated. I'm going to get a gas tank and we'll get it ordered when it comes in. We'll make another video. But until then, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Share it. Tell your friends to start watching. As this channel starts going and we start getting more projects in, some of it's going to be cool, some of it you guys might not like. Let me know what you guys want to see. Do you want to see the in-depth stuff of me making fuel lines, or you just want to see progress updates as I start building it? What do you want to see? I'm going to try to actually edit this video, make it cool. Got some couple different things to go in it. We'll see how well I do. Let me know. Thanks.